Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is May 5th. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing for Cinco de Mayo days?
I didn't do anything special. I played volleyball for 4 hours today, and now I'm back.
All right, I golfed.
Oh, you golfed?
Still got sunscreen on. I'm about to go for a hike. So let's tour them markets.
Okay, let me share. Okay, second. Let's make sure that people can only see my screen.
Texting me about the new tariffs that Trump is warning.
Yeah, futures are down a couple percent. We'll show them.
Oh, what happened? Markets are actually down?
Yeah, futures are down. Let me show. Can you see my screen with the futures?
Yeah.
So yeah, futures are down about 1.5% to 2% after that new Trump tweet about imposing.
If he's trading himself, it's just, on a Sunday it's so frustrating to. Yesterday I wrote it. Last week I wrote something about panicking early. It just felt like he has room to play, and the economy's strong, and he's always just farting around with the markets. And for 6 months they've been talking about, oh, trust us, there's a deal coming with China, and the rhetoric has changed to inflation. I think if you listen to the rhetoric now, it's like we've got inflation under control, we can cut rates. I don't trust anything that I just consider them the insider trading. As much as I always felt it's easy to cheat, these guys are cheating. And I'm not saying it's Trump, I'm just saying it is this office. There are so many hand grabs, but for Sunday afternoon tweeting about China, crazy. So people are going to sell this open. So thanks for pulling that back.
I think it's more important how people will react tomorrow. The bid will be bought.
Yeah, listen. Things were giddy. IPOs were strong. I wrote this last week in one of my posts that you had the conditions for a sell-off. It's not a tweet that sells off the market. The market wants to be sold, and then there's an event. From a tape perspective, volume's been low, but the S&P looks good, and the Nasdaq, what was it, weekly, monthly, all-time closing highs this week?
All-time closing highs, and also the small cap broke out 160,
the small caps finally broke out. Okay, so you get this breakout, and now we'll test it. Market will open up in the hole tomorrow, but this has been a market of stocks. So let's go. My 8 to 80 list has just been crushing the indexes. So it has been a market of stocks. So what do we got this week?
It's been a market of stock for sure. We continue to see the markets reacting favorably to earnings reports and to silly things like Berkshire Hathaway announcing that they just bought some Amazon. Amazon just had a few weeks ago, they reported their best earnings report in their history, and the market didn't care. The stock.
Well, yeah, he's been properly long a lot of private stuff. He's got so much cash. He can't beat the S&P with the stocks that he loves because it's overweighted banks and they've underperformed for 3 years. So he has to have exposure. And I think I read today, he likes monopolies, right? So he's basically, Apple and Amazon are his tech stocks, and to him those are monopolies, right?
And by the way, he's not the one buying them, and he has
all of his young disciples internally, and by young they're probably 70. But anyways, been long Amazon. I don't really care. I think basically it's just a buy the dip. The next time it dips to 1,300, I would be buying this. I missed it in December, adding more. But at 1,700, there's going to be a lot of dip buyers. So that's what it means to have And that's what it felt like to have him in Apple in December. So if we pull up Apple, I mean, having Buffett there makes it just a little easier to buy the 30% dips. And as we can see now, he is the S&P. So he's giving a seal approval to those two. I'm surprised not Microsoft. But all right, so individual, what are we looking at? Anything, Ivan? And then I'll go through a list of the stuff that I'm looking at.
I mean, we continue to see the same themes playing out. Semiconductors recovered last week after a quick pullback, which is a positive after a few good reports. Mm-hmm. AMD had a decent report, even though the market didn't react very favorably. Software stocks are still strong. Mm-hmm. Near all-time highs, and I think I'm paying attention to a few cybersecurity names, for example.
Yeah, Palo Alto has been trying to break out here. It's kind of been some of the smaller ones that have broken out. An interesting stories in sleep. The two sleep stocks I follow. Personally, I've owned a tiny bit of ResMed forever. I don't talk about it that much. Very underfollowed. Basically, the only pure play in sleep. It's one of those stocks you just have to buy on 20% sell-offs. And it's pretty much gone nowhere this year after a big gap down at the beginning of the year. But it's kind of making another push at all-time highs. If you can see, it's going to earn $4 a share. It's not growing very fast.
Yeah, they're not even growing anymore, which is interesting.
Yeah, but I just still feel, and then the one in that space that's the pure play that's growing is INSP, which I haven't done enough work on. Again, it's hard for me to own medical stocks because I just don't. But this is another sleep stock, sleep apnea stock. So I think
that's another sleep stock, kind of.
Yeah, Tempur-Pedic mattresses are unbelievable. My Tempur-Pedic, I mean, they're expensive, and that's interesting. It's breaking out, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Nah,
I mean,
so much.
It's not an amazing breakout. There's still a lot of resistance.
No growth. It's great. It's traded forever at 10 to 15 times earnings, so I don't see the catalyst. But you got to go. It's ResMed or in INSP. Big week for earnings. Disney. I mean, obviously, question is this priced in? The new movie pulled back a little bit last week. That's to be expected. Expected to earn, $6.50 this year. So it's trading just over 20 times earnings. But I think this one is the one that I feel has the most upside of the big caps, just because it's hard. People are going to be speculating for the next 6 months how the launch is going to go in November.
I think after the big breakout, any pullback in Disney will be welcomed as a buying opportunity.
All eyes are going to be in weed on GWPH. They report Monday, which is a weed biotech.
Yeah.
It's been probably one of the, it's been basing now for almost a year.
Yeah. Let's see another one that reports next week.
If you go back to a weekly, GWPH, just for if you go back to a weekly, if this gets going, this stock is my favorite of the weed. Todd Harrison is long this, and I'm going to LP in his fund, but this is his favorite idea.
They're losing money like crazy though, so it takes a special market, like a really strong bull market, for a stock like this too.
But I'm saying the earnings are this week, so keep an eye. That can be a 50-point swinger.
I think your other favorite, Exact Scientists, I think they reported last week and they didn't sell off, which is good news. I think, as you can see, they're at all-time highs, very high short interest.
Yeah, I think they're celebrating my colonoscopy at Exact Science. Basically, poop in a box. In the end, I'm going to do what my doctor says. And right now, doctors like people spending the money on colonoscopies, but this is one for early detection of colon and pancreatic cancer, which is just man killers. So huge short interest in this stock is what I've heard from the hedgies. Too scary for me. I've owned it on and off for trades, but all-time highs. So congrats to the longs there. Etsy, you said, is reporting this week?
Yeah, and it's kind of setting up again, but I mean, it had quite a move, from 6 to 70.
Yeah,
in the past,
really, it came public at 30, so it's really just a double since 2015. So I think people could be surprised here. And I'm long talking my book, but it's not cheap. It's never going to be cheap. But this is a platform that is not quite a Shopify, but one of my favorite companies. Shopify, one of my favorite companies. Hard to understand. It's kind of a jihad here in the face of Instagram and Facebook launching Instagram shopping. There's so many bold short calls on Shopify, and yet stock's kind of up to $100 in the last month. So I'm pretty excited that we've been long that. I wouldn't chase it up here, and at the same time, I've been selling a little bit. But Shopify is probably one of the strongest stocks. And then basically Shopify meets Internet of Latin America. Meli had 100-point break. I got this wrong. I was long the payment stocks, and this is the ultimate Latin American internet index. Mercado Libre, all-time highs, massive breakout. It's kind of doubled in the last 6 months. In December, when the world was coming to an end, supposedly, stock was in, same time Amazon and those companies have gone up 40, 50%. Mercado Libre is up over 100%, I think. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Incredible run. So congrats to the longs there. Anything else show up, Ivan, that's surprising people? And you can see the shock is here too.
Financials has been kind of strong, which is, I guess, a big surprise.
The rates, what do you think it's tied to? I mean, JP Morgan, you keep bringing yeah. And I don't know. I just think they're a waste of time for people. They're going to continue to get, there's just no growth. The millennials could care less about the banks, the Gen Zs. This money's going to get passed down. JP Morgan and the rest of them are going to be overlooked. Look at Goldman just lagging. So I don't get it. I think that's a false tell. I think inflation's a false tell. I think there is inflation. I don't trust anything I'm hearing out of the White House, which is crazy. I mean, you're not supposed to trust politicians, but it's almost like complete misdirect at this point. It's just so shocking that they've been just promising a settlement. China's going to bend, and all of a sudden on a weekend, and then all the last 2 weeks, like I said earlier, about inflation. There is inflation. We may not be seeing it at this moment, but there is inflation. You can't have the market, and even Berkshire is talking about. We've never seen anything like this, where we've got low interest rates, low inflation, kind of full employment, stock market at all-time high, and cheerleading, massive cheerleading at the top of the White House, when he knows that 20, 30% have exposure to the stock market. It's not, the stock market is not the economy.
But it can impact the economy a lot.
What's that?
I mean, the stock market can impact the economy significantly.
Impacts mood. The same people are getting rich. The technology is driving the economy. The White House, this current White House, has nothing to do with technology. They have no control over Facebook and Twitter, other than owning the libs. I mean, they're good at it. So they, this other than neglect, this administration has had no effect. Jack, Zuckerberg, Bezos, Nadella, they give up two rats' asses about what the president's saying. Their businesses are growing. They are left unchecked. Congress has no idea, and the Senate has no idea how to deal with these companies, and they've been reckless.
Facebook and Twitter are definitely ramping up, and people say that those two will be the platforms where the new elections will be decided.
In the U.S. In the U.S. for
yeah, in the US, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Snapchat, it's not LinkedIn, it's not Slack, it's Facebook and Twitter. Even myself, I got along a little bit last week, Twitter, and above 34, above that earnings gap. Listen, I don't love the prospects, but I like the price action. And so that's it. I think it'll be an interesting opening to the week. But as I wrote last week, Ivan, I said, panic early. I like the indexes where they're at, but I wouldn't be shocked, as we'll see on Monday, as I thought last week, is just for some over the summer for there to be some shocks. I think we haven't heard the last of the Mueller report, and I just think with summer coming and the heat coming, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at the first 4 or 5 months of this year and locking in some profits. You've got the Uber IPO this week too, Ivan. Let's take a look at Lyft.
Yeah.
A lot of supply, which doesn't mean the market will sell off. Reading some reports, it doesn't mean, when there's a lot of IPOs, definitely doesn't mean the market will sell off over the next year. And so you can see, opening print in the 80s, almost hit 90. Now we're down at 60, 62. So I think by the end of this week, we'll really see how people want these two stocks, when Uber's trading and Lyft.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if people want to own both of them, or they would just go for the leader.
Or none. Let's take a look at Pinterest. Has been probably the strongest of the new ones. It's PIN, I think. PIN.
Yeah.
It kind of came back to reality.
I mean, this is how most IPO trade at the beginning. Like, they have a big run because of the small float, and after that, just short sellers crush it. Even that new stock, Beyond Meat, it was like up 300% the first day.
Yeah, I think it just goes to show how big the food market is and how people are hungry for just, no pun intended, for new issues. That held its gain. Zoom video. Really,
yeah, for now.
I think we're gonna have to move our Momentum Monday to Zoom. It's really amazing.
I don't mind it.
Yeah,
and yeah, I mean, there are quite a few names. Which one was this one? Elastic, I think there is a new IPO, so kind of acting constructively. I think if it clears that 87 level,
when are earnings?
End of May, it says here, estimate. But
yeah,
then last week I was super surprised with this one, for example, Cree, which just showed how strong deep buyers are in this market. Like, they had a big gap down and they finished positive and near all-time highs. Like, so very strong demand for this one. I think it's a 5G play.
Earnings were misinterpreted. Yeah,
and
I think you were in that market where everybody
definitely want to keep an eye on.
Yeah, because of Xilinx and Intel, they probably sold the news and then realized that the earnings weren't bad. I don't trade semis. Okay, I think we've covered a wide range here. Ivan, have a great week, and if something changes this week, we'll get back on the air. But I think let's see what happens tomorrow with the China sell-off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, bye.